Hi, it's Jane with Scraptastic Yarns, and it's Tuesday. I am filming this Monday afternoon. I am telling you that because I have so many things I have to get done before I go to North Carolina to bury Thomas that it just seems like it's overwhelming at times. So, anyway, did you guys catch Sunday night's lunar eclipse? No, not here. It was raining. And so we didn't even get to see it. And of course, you know, Monday it's been raining off and on all day and cloudy and bleh. That kind of thing. All right. Now, I am going to show you a couple of things that I am working on. And of course, one of those is the Nan's Next Knot. But the other one is a shawl that I had started. It is the Killer Queen shawl by Bag a Day. This is one of her newer ones. And I am doing that shawl in Shawl in a Ball. And this is the colorway Wild Chimes. There was a piece that was started that was left at the prayer shawl, but I didn't really care for the pattern, so I ripped it back and started this shawl. And it's not a full skein, it's maybe half a skein with that one, and then there's a full one of this. So I'm hoping that it'll make a good size shawl. If it doesn't, well, you know, it'll be for somebody small. And of course, Nan's Next Knots. She drew the number 4 on Thursday, and my number 4 is that fruit salad by I Love This Yarn. And yeah, it's coming along really nice. Have a little bit more to go. I am, like I said, going to do this one the full 20 weeks, so that way it can be given to the gatehouse to give out to those that are there for hospice care. Alright, this weekend at the Lycoming County Fair there was the Central Pennsylvania Fiber Festival, and really did enjoy that Fiber Festival. I need to stop right here. Sorry, I didn't have the stuff with me. I realized, uh-oh, I need to go get it. Anyway, there was a Fiber Festival at the fairgrounds there in Lycoming County, and it was a very nice festival. There were some beautiful yarns to be had, and yes, I did get some yarn. Did I need yarn? Of course not. I didn't need yarn. But you know, had to get some. So, what are you going to do? Well, I don't have the other gal's card. And it never fails. When I go, I wind up buying something from Shirts to Get. Just always do. That's just the way it rolls. Every time I'm in there, I see a different colorway that I absolutely love. And, you know, there I go, getting it. I have a little clip at the very opening of the exhibit. I didn't take you down the aisles and didn't talk with any of the people. They did have some sock knitting machines there that some of the gals were doing displays on. There was a knitting machine that was a hand processing one that a woman had brought, and she was telling us all about the electric knitting machine that she has at home. She just sets the program, casts on, and then turns the machine on, and it makes whatever she wants it to make. So you know, we had quite a few things that we were looking and talking to. Now, they had a lot of things that had nothing to do with yarn. Well, maybe they had to do something with yarn. You know, like candle display. I guess, you know, some people like to have an ambiance when they knit or crochet and light a candle. And I believe the woman said it was bamboo wax. She did not have a flavor that I liked, so I didn't buy any. Normally when I do buy a candle, I like dragon's blood, but hers did not quite smell quite what I thought dragon's blood normally smells like, so I didn't purchase it. They had weavers there that were doing some weaving, and of course they had spinners there who were spinning. They had herding dogs when you went out front, and I know when we stopped and watched it, the first thing that came to my mind is the sheep were all over the field, and the gal called the dog to herd the sheep. The dog did herd the sheep, and of course then the dog laid down on its belly watching the sheep, and for the command from the shepherdess, I guess that's what you're going to call her. But what it brought to mind was that is exactly how Jesus Christ guides his sheep. Is he will guide us, and then he will lie down patiently while he's waiting for us. And if we go astray, he'll bring us back into the flock. So, that came to mind while I was watching it, and it was just an interesting day all around. We did go out to eat that day, and we enjoyed ourselves, had a great time. And they had some wooden toys there. They had quite a few people who had just alpaca yarn, which is beautiful, but I don't touch it because it'll set off a reaction. And then they had a couple of people who had knitting and crochet tools that were available, but and they had quite a bit of fluff if you are a spinner to purchase things, and some spindles, drop spindles. So the very first shop that I did walk into, let me put that footage here. Alright, the very first shop that I did walk into was Breedalicious hand-dyed yarn. No, Breadiculous. Sorry, Breadiculous hand-dyed yarn. And this is a worsted weight. It is 100% superwash merino, 218 pounds, yards, 100 grams, and it is called Summertime. And I love that. And she had two, so I grabbed two. Now this gal was having a rough day of it. She was staying with a friend in Williamsport, and about halfway here she realized she forgot to bring her bags. Couldn't go back and get bags. And of course, Williamsport, there's no place to buy a surplus of, just bags to hand out. She'd also forgot the little clips that go on the wire shelving that she had, so she had to stop and buy some wire clips. I told her not to worry about the bag. I was fine. So then we moved on, walking along, and then of course I came to Scraptastic. And Scraptastic, I found Just DK. Now this is a little bit of a thicker DK, what I consider a little bit of thicker DK. So it'll go well with that worsted weight if I wanted to put it together. And I'll explain why. And this is called F a Duck. I ain't going to say the first word. But there are those colorways. And I did purchase 4. And of course, they do go with that summertime if I wanted to put summertime with it. So, like I said, this is 100% superwash merino. I believe there are 100 grams, 246 yards of this. And then we walked outside and there was a mobile yarn store. Now this yarn store, they also had a lot of baskets that had been woven. Big, beautiful baskets. But, you know, I have no place to put baskets, so I went on. And the name of this shop was Frogget Yarns. And this is hand-dyed in Pennsylvania. And their website is froggetyarns.com. Now, this yarn that I picked up there was what they called odd ends, I think is the way she named it. But this is 100% superwash merino worsted weight, 218 yards, 100 grams, and there were 3 in there. They looked like they could go together. So I picked up all 3, and the name of this one was Odd Duck. And guess what? It'll go with that too. And then you put them all together. And I dropped the other skein of the summertime, so I can't do that all together. But they could all go together. So, I was really thrilled to pick up those yarns. Do I need any more yarn? No, I need to start using the yarn. You know, I keep picking up these high-end yarns and have done very little with them. And, I need to stop that. I really do need to stop that. But, you know, I figured I knew I was going to buy some yarn. It'll be a while before there's another yarn festival, you know, fiber festival. So I'll just move on and deal with it later, right? All right. Now, it has been a rather interesting week because there has been a lot of things that basically have gone on. My brother-in-law had called me Friday. And Friday he said the lawyer called the Superior Court clerk there here in Clinton County and needs some exemplified something. It's about 15 pages. He wanted me to pick him up from the Superior Court and bring him down when I bring Thomas down to be buried. Well, his lawyer called the Superior Court, and there isn't anything I can do. I can't pick him up because that was between his lawyer in North Carolina and the Superior Court. So they wouldn't let me pick him up. Even though the woman that's in there, who's one of the clerks, knows who I am, knows the whole story, go to church together. You know, she could have handed him to me if she really wanted to break the chain of custody, but she could not. And I don't blame her. It's not worth losing your job over, right? So anyway, then he wants me to get with my lawyer, to have my lawyer call his lawyer. Well, my lawyer's out of town. Friday he was here doing a court case in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, I believe. Monday through Friday of this week, he's in Williamsport and somewhere else. I can't remember where it is. So, you know, I pass off this information and whatnot, and they just make an appointment for me when I get back from North Carolina, which is all they can do. So, you know, what are you going to do? And, you know, this whole thing with having to do probate his will in North Carolina is a bit ridiculous. But, you know, that's what we're going through. And, you know, like I told his brother-in-law, I said, I can't do anything for you. You know, my hands are tied. And I can't see my lawyer until the Tuesday I return back. So, you know, we're kind of stuck there. But, yeah. This whole thing has been an absolute mess. And what's funny is, legally, Thomas has no property here in Pennsylvania or North Carolina. But we have to probate it as if he does because he was named in the will. His mother named both of us in the will as getting half of the property, which originally, the way that they had all set it up, the boys and her, were that she was going to go ahead and put it in Jimmy and Thomas's name, and they would let her live there, pay the bills, pay the taxes, all that kind of stuff. And she went to the lawyer and changed her mind and kept it all in her name, and wanted it passed off to them. And then if Thomas passed away or Jimmy passed away, wanted that portion to go to her niece, to her grandchildren. Thomas's niece and nephew. I had no problem with that. We'd already made Jimmy the power of attorney so he could handle selling the property and everything else. And then when Thomas had passed away, I signed off as I didn't want any part of it, even though Thomas in his will had left me everything that he would receive. And therein lies the problem. So, crazy. But, yeah, that's kind of it. That's where it's at for right now. And we're just taking it one day at a time and trying to get through it. So, are you ready for a little what in Tarnation? I know I am. Florida passenger who landed plane after pilot passed out says he had to do or die. A Florida man who was forced to take over the controls of a small airplane last week after the pilot had a medical emergency mid-flight says that he did what he did because he didn't have a choice. Darren Harrison was flying with the pilot in a small Cessna when the pilot passed out. Harrison radioed the control tower, took the controls, and landed the plane safely at Palm Beach International Airport in South Florida, even though he had no piloting experience. "My pilot has gone incoherent," he said during the crisis. "I have no idea how to fly the plane." On Sunday, Harrison told NBC's Today that it was extremely a sobering experience, although he did keep his cool. "Somebody asked me the other day what my heart rate was. When all of that was going on, I said probably in the 90s, he said. And they said, what about when it all was over? And I said probably 160. I doubt it was 160. That's in the danger zone. Air traffic controllers and flight instructor Robert Morgan successfully talked Harrison through the safe landing. "By the time I stopped the plane, that's when it hit me," he said. "I was pretty calm and collected the whole time, because I knew it was a life or death situation. Either you do what you have to do control the situation, or you're going to die. And that's what I did." Harrison, 38, who lives in Lakeland, Florida, runs a flooring and design shop with his father. He and the pilot were returning to Florida from the Bahamas last week when the emergency occurred. Palm Beach International Airport is located about 70 miles north of Miami. Whew. Well, if you've never been in a dust storm, they're pretty interesting. Growing up in New Mexico, we had them quite frequently. So, but I was a little surprised to hear about this on Nebraska's highway. Massive dust storm engulfs drivers on Nebraska highway. Motorists in Nebraska this week found them stuck in a massive dust cloud during a major thunderstorm, dropping visibility to near zero and whipping up hurricane-force winds. Footage taken Thursday by one woman attempting to drive through the dust cloud shows how quickly the weather conditions changed as a massive plume engulfs her along 180. "I've never seen anything quite like this," said Nurse Lisa Wolf, who recorded the video. "You literally have no visibility ahead of you." The National Weather Service recorded wind speeds of over 70 miles per hour Thursday afternoon, with gusts up to 85 miles an hour in York, Hamilton, and Clay counties at times. And there's a photo taken by the Nebraska Department of Transportation that shows the magnitude of that dust cloud blocking out everything in its path. The video is interesting. It's about 45 seconds long. You know, older women are amazing. Maine woman, 71, becomes oldest to swim across the Sea of Galilee. A 71-year-old Maine woman with multiple Guinness World Records titles added a new accomplishment to her name by becoming the oldest woman to swim the length of the Sea of Galilee. Pat Gallant-Charette, 71, a retired nurse from Westbrook, plunged into the water in Israel and swam 13 miles across the Sea of Galilee with a time of 8 hours and 22 minutes. Gallant-Charette is now believed to be the oldest woman to ever swim the length of the Sea of Galilee. I'm out for these swims to have fun and show that as we age, we don't really have to slow down, that if you enjoy something, go for it, she said. Gallant-Charette previously earned Guinness World Record titles, including the oldest person to achieve the Triple Crown of open water swimming and the oldest person to swim the North Channel. Now this last story, I'm sad to say, I missed. And if I'd have known it, I would have absolutely partook in it. National Blame Someone Else Day is recognized and celebrated on the first Friday the 13th of the year. It will be celebrated next in January. Friday marks your opportunity, that was Friday the 13th, to shirk some responsibility or indulge in an apple pie, fruit cocktail, or crouton-filled salad. The National Blame Someone Else Day is recognized and celebrated on that first Friday the 13th of the year. Just this once, in the terms of an excuse, we can blame another. We can blame the dog, the weather, or the mechanic. Tight-fitting clothes, blame the closet fairies. If our bank account runs low before payday, the day calls for blaming someone else. The website nationaldaycalendar.com suggests. Go lightly into this day. If you don't want to blame someone, blame something. It's all in fun. The website daysoftheyear.com refers to it as the compulsive liar's dream day. Of course, there are too many occasions to celebrate and not enough days in the year. If you're looking for something slightly more patriotic, Friday also coincides with the All-American National Apple Pie Day. It's also time to celebrate National Crouton Day, National Fruit Cocktail Day, and National Frog Jumping Day. The tradition involving the leaping amphibians dates back to author Mark Twain's first short story, published in 1865. The current frog jumping record is 21 feet and 5.75 inches and was set in 1986 by Rosie the Ribbitor. And there you have it. What in tarnation. All right, guys. I'll be back in a second. Have to go get the... All right, today's devotional. My ways are beyond understanding, yet you wonder and you fuss in your heart and ask me why. I'll answer your whys because I love you. I don't do harm, nor do I do damage on earth. I'm not the destroyer. Do not attribute the works of the devil to me. The trouble with asking me why is that you want an immediate answer. The answers come to you, my child, in different ways. Oftentimes the answers come to you in unexpected ways. Carry the question why into the back porch of your heart and let it remain there. Now is the hour of trust. All will become clear in time, and the front door to understanding will open wide for you. The Lord grants wisdom. From His mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He grants a treasure of common sense to the honest. He is a shield to those who walk with integrity. The Lord grants wisdom. From His mouth come knowledge and understanding. He grants a treasure of common sense to the honest. He is a shield to those who walk with integrity. This comes from Proverbs 2, verse 6 through 9. So as always, folks, remember, go out there, be kind to one another, love one another, and as always, admire, look around you, see the beauty and the marvel that God has created for us to enjoy. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.